Hey guys, Scott here. Welcome back from Easter break. I hope all of you guys' Easters were really good. I know a lot of you probably didn't get to visit family because of the coronavirus, but hope you at least talk to them or FaceTime them or something. I don't usually visit family on Easters because they all live 10 plus hours away, so there wasn't much difference in this year's Easter than there was the last few Easters, other than the snow. That's disturbing. I don't know if any of you, all of you viewers who live in South Dakota, it's had blizzard conditions at least at some point in the day over the last like 4 days, which is annoying given that it's the middle of April. Oh well. A lot of news has happened in the last few days. I did not make a video Friday or Monday because it was Easter weekend. And I totally forgot that Friday was Good Friday, otherwise I wouldn't have promised a video. What did I say? Oh yeah. Other update news. For those of you who are seniors in West Central, the graduation committee met today. We bounced around a couple of ideas, so we will have something planned. Never fear, we will do something. But I promise you, graduation is still the 16th. No matter what we do, that is the day. It's not going to change, so don't worry about that. Yeah, other than that, and when we get started with the rest of the video, I have some questions for you guys to answer at the end of it. But today, I want to talk about all of the news that has happened over the weekend. And a couple things that really annoy me when it comes to politics. Always on the right. So, I talked about Bernie Sanders dropping out. Bernie Sanders has endorsed Joe Biden. I'll be honest, I was surprised about that. Given that he didn't endorse Hillary Clinton in 2016, I figured he was going to do the same thing and sort of stand on his own, claim it was rigged. I guess that just goes to show how concerned he is about Trump winning, that he would endorse Biden. So that was new. Although I think it's going to be bad for Biden in the long run because Biden's now going to have to move left on policy. He came out yesterday and said that his administration would be the most progressive administration since FDR, which isn't good. I mean, none of the policies he would suggest is good. That makes it sound like he's just going to be Bernie Sanders, but nicer, which isn't what Democratic primary voters voted for. They wanted a moderate that Biden promised to be, and instead they're going to get Bernie Sanders light. So that'll be interesting to see, as if he wins. Which, that's all. Moving on. Barack Obama has finally endorsed Joe Biden. Not a surprise. What's surprising is that he waited so long, given that Biden was the only only endorsable candidate in the field by Obama. I mean, it was his vice president. You would think he would endorse him early on. A lot of people are asking why he waited so long. It's not really that hard to figure out. Barack Obama is very popular within the Democratic Party, and he didn't want to piss off one segment of the party by endorsing another candidate. He especially didn't want to piss off Bernie voters because he didn't want to cause a rift in the party. Not his best move. I mean, there was a time there when it looked like Bernie Sanders would win, and if he had, then Obama would have looked foolish for not endorsing Biden. Now he has, and I guess it's a big news story, even though Joe Biden's the only candidate still in the running. So, yeah, Barack Obama endorsed him. Bernie endorsed him. That's big news on the left side of the aisle. On the right side of the aisle, Trump is Trump and has taken his ignorance of the Constitution to a whole new level. Came out yesterday. He claimed that his authority, I was going to pull up the quote, but I won't, that his authority is absolute, that if you're president, your authority is absolute, and that's just the way it has to be. Like, almost word for word, that was the quote. So that, as president, he gets to decide when to reopen the states, not the governors. He will decide, and he will tell them no if they try to reopen their economies. Which is wholly wrong. I mean, that is incredibly, incredibly wrong. Trump has done a lot of dumb things that make him sound like a petty dictator, but this is really not good. Like, It's very, very not good that he said that. It shows that he doesn't understand the Constitution at all, especially the 10th Amendment, which I will read aloud right now. So the 10th Amendment says, powers not delegated to the United States, meaning the federal government, by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. What that means, for all of you non-constitutional scholars out there, is exactly what it says. If there is not a power in the Constitution given to the federal government, that power is reserved to the states. It's as simple as that. And it really is that simple. That power is reserved to the states or to the people. And this applies in more circumstances than just this. Now, obviously, Trump does not have the authority to close the economy. Doesn't have the authority to issue a stay-at-home order. Doesn't have the authority to issue a shelter-in-place order. He doesn't have the authority to tell states that they cannot reopen their economies. Or tell states to do anything, for that matter, unless expressly granted to him or Congress in the Constitution. This power is not granted to him. There's no clause in the Constitution that says, you as president have authority over the governors, you can tell them what to do. That's just not a thing. It doesn't even say Congress can do that. Congress is not authorized to tell states when they can and cannot reopen their economies, nor is the Supreme Court. Trump saying that shows that he has no idea what the Constitution says, that he has no idea how a system of governance works, and that he actually thinks he's like a king. And what is really sad is that a lot of Republicans who ripped on Obama for saying the same thing, because Obama did. He didn't say it as plain words, but when Obama talked about using his pen and phone to issue executive orders and to create new law that way, that was the same concept. That was Obama saying, I don't care about the Constitution, I don't care what the law says, I'm going to do whatever I want because I'm president. That was wrong then, and a lot of Republicans ripped on Obama for saying that. They quite rightly said that was unconstitutional. A lot of the same Republicans are going to ignore this. They're not going to care. They're not going to say that Trump is wrong, and they are foolish to do so, and they are kissing the king's ring to do so. In doing so, it's not right. So that was the first item I wanted to get off my chest about politics. The second that really annoys me is when, and I figured this would be good to talk about given that it was Easter weekend, is when people talk about politicians like they're gods, or like they were chosen by gods, like they're saints, and like God is backing them. You hear this a lot on the right when it comes to Trump. You got a lot of religious right people saying Trump was chosen by God, right? He was handpicked. And that's why he won the election. God chose him. We shouldn't go against him because he is God's right hand on earth. That's false. God does not pick favorites in politics. That's just not true. If you say it's true, you are endorsing what political theorists such as myself like call the divine right theory of government. The idea that as a ruler, your power to rule comes from on high, comes from a God, and therefore nothing can challenge you. You are above the law. You are only answerable to God. That's tyrannical, and that's not a good system of government. Every other place that it was tried, most notably France before Napoleon, the kings ruled like dictators. They ruled like tyrants. They didn't listen to their version of Congress. They didn't listen to the courts. They just did whatever they wanted. And it was bad for the people of that country. And so if you hear religious people on the right or left, because it happens on the left too, on either side saying that because such and such is in power, such and such is your governor or president, that God chose them, they're wrong. They don't understand how the Constitution works, and you should correct them on it. And what's really sad about people on the right saying that Trump was chosen by God because he's president, that's the phrase a lot. It's not that Trump himself was chosen. It's that whoever wins the presidency is obviously chosen by God to win the presidency, and so we should follow them. Everybody's saying that. I would put $1,000 on it. Not everybody. 9 out of 10 people saying that when Obama was president were not saying that. I guarantee it. because I have family members that say stuff like that. I mean, I have family that believes that Trump was chosen by God to rule, that he is God's chosen man, and so we shouldn't oppose him, and that Democrats are traitors for opposing him because they're going against him and they're going against God. None of them said that when Obama was president. In fact, a lot of them probably think Obama was Muslim, or that Obama was from Kenya, that he wasn't a real American, or he didn't earn the election, he didn't win. And a lot of people on the right, most people on the right who say that Trump was chosen by God, will say that Obama was a Muslim, he's from Kenya, he's not a real American, and that he wasn't chosen by God, that he's, Satan's man, and that Clinton was picked by the devil, and, stuff like that. Which means they're not serious. They're not actually, or they're either hypocrites, or they are too stupid to realize the cognitive dissonance in what they're saying. Either way, it's hard to talk to people like that, and those people are wrong. Just plain and simple. God does not pick politicians. He certainly doesn't pick the president. He doesn't pick favorites in politics. We, the people, pick politicians. We, the system, using our system, pick the president. And Trump was elected president in 2016 in a fair election. He won the Electoral College. Politicians who win their House races, who win their Senate races, win via popular vote. It's not like the elections were rigged. There aren't millions of illegal immigrants voting, like a lot of people on the right, including Trump, like to claim. There weren't Russian interference, hacking, and making it so Trump won, like people on the left like to claim. He won by the fair process, the free and fair election process that we have. And to be frank, he's going to lose in 2020, this November, via the free and fair election process we have. There's very, very little chance Trump wins this election. I mean, very slim chance. There are very few paths to his victory. On average, national polling has him at like minus 6 or 7 percentage points below Biden in polling. In every state that he's going to need to clutch, he is below Biden. Arizona, he's like 8 points below. Wisconsin, he's like 5 points below. Pennsylvania, Michigan, he's like 4 or 5 points below. Florida, I think he's about dead even. Texas, there was a poll in Texas out a few weeks ago that had him below Biden. I mean, if you're a Republican and you lose Texas, you're a terrible candidate. I mean, that says a lot about you as a candidate. And Trump is a terrible candidate. He's bad for Republicans. So come November, Trump's going to lose, and Republicans will lose down ballot. We might lose the Senate. Hopefully that convinces people in the Republican Party and the Republican establishment to give Trump up. I don't know if it will. I'm going to keep fighting until it does, but I legitimately don't know what the future of the party is. But yeah, no, so there's my way too early prediction. Trump's going to lose. He might lose big. It won't be like a huge blowout like FDR style or Reagan style, but he'll lose by 40, 50 electoral votes. And I think we'll see some states flip, like Arizona or Georgia or North Carolina, flip to Biden. That shouldn't, but do. That'll be interesting. So yeah, that's really all I had for politics at the moment. Trying to think else. What else has happened in the world? Prince. Crap. His name escapes me. Harry and Meghan Markle, I think. I could be wrong. That might be the wrong prince. Finally renounced their royal titles, so they're no longer part of the British royal family. Boris Johnson is out of the hospital. There's another one. Boris Johnson, Prime Minister of the UK, is out of the hospital. He was in the hospital with coronavirus all of last week, so he's out now. He's on the recovery, on the mend. So good for him. I would hate to see him die. He's a good ally of the U.S. and he's a trustworthy ally. So I'm glad he survived. Yeah, that's about it. I can't think of any other major news stories. The NFL draft is going to be virtual. That's about it. That'll be fun. Yeah, so like I said, I had some questions for you guys. Not a lot of questions, but I'll do my best to sort of go in depth on the questions. This will still be a shorter video today, though. Alright, first question. What are your thoughts? I might have answered this in the last video. I don't think so, but just bear with me. What are your thoughts on Julia Wendell? Take as long as you need to answer this. We're good friends. That's about it. I mean, yeah, her and I are good friends. Also, I just got a news from Twitter. Trump announces halt of funding to World Health Organization, pending review of coronavirus response. This is one of the few good things Trump has done. The World Health Organization has failed miserably in its stated goal. Anybody who endorses China when it claims that nobody has died from coronavirus in a week and a half is stupid. And who has done that? The World Health Organization has repeatedly said that China is correct, that we should listen to the Chinese way of dealing with this, that China has effectively handled this virus. They refused to talk about Taiwan. I saw an interview with the director of WHO where he refused to mention Taiwan because he didn't want to piss off the Chinese. The Chinese don't like Taiwan. That's ridiculous. Taiwan is China. The Chinese Communist Party is an illegitimate government. Taiwan is the legitimate authority. For who to ignore it is dumb. Sorry, coronavirus and such. So yeah. So that was my rant on who. Julia, we're good friends. I don't know what else to say. Opinion on Adam Parsons. Also a good friend. I mean, he's a pretty chill guy. I like talking to him. Gonna miss him when I move to Florida. Hopefully he comes and visits. If you're watching this, Adam, you should come visit. Hit the beach. It'll be fun. Somebody asked me to talk about my love life. Non-existent. Yeah, that's all I got. It's non-existent. So if you want to change that, go ahead and hit me up. But at the moment, my love life does not exist. What should the governor do about the rising number of coronavirus cases in Sioux Falls? There's not. She could declare a public health emergency. This question was actually asked 5 days ago, and since then it has only gotten worse. As many of you probably know, I should have mentioned this earlier, Smithfield meatpacking facility has closed down indefinitely. It is the 4th largest hotspot for coronavirus cases in the country, which is not good. But okay, so I want to explain something for you guys, because a lot of people were freaking out that Nome hadn't done anything after Smithfield, after that was announced. Saying that is the 4th largest hotspot for coronavirus cases does not mean that Sioux Falls is the 4th largest hotspot. Okay, so a friend of mine on Twitter claimed that the other day. That is patently false. Smithfield facility is the 4th largest individual facility for coronavirus cases. The USS Theodore Roosevelt is the largest with like 500 something cases. Smithfield, last I checked, has 132. It's probably larger now, probably like 160. Individual building. That does not justify a stay-at-home order, because a stay-at-home order wouldn't have stopped that. Because stay-at-home orders exempt people going to work. So Nome couldn't have done anything about that. The only person to blame for that hotspot is the person who got coronavirus and they came to work. And they're probably not to blame either, because they probably didn't know before they'd gone to work. So there's nothing. The stay-at-home order wouldn't have helped. Don't be mad at Kristi Noem for not doing anything to stop that. She couldn't. It wouldn't have helped that. Because whenever the original person got coronavirus at Smithfield, it probably wasn't severe enough for us to need a stay-at-home order. I mean, the only way she could have stopped this would have been to go back a month and a half and issue a stay-at-home order. And even then it might not have helped, because somebody might have gone somewhere, brought it back, and went to work at Smithfield. Anyway, it's really sad what's happening to Smithfield facilities. And on to the governor. The governor should have given Paul Tinhagen the authority to issue a stay-at-home order. I really don't like the idea of somebody 300 miles away, not 300 miles, 150 miles, depending on how far up here is, 150 miles, giving us instructions on what to do. That's just not really. We should localize the response as much as possible. So the state legislature and the governor should have came together to give Paul TenHaken the power to do that, and the mayors just across the state the power to do that. Paul TenHaken himself should just claim that power. Like, he shouldn't wait on Nome to do anything. He is mayor. He has prerogative powers. This is one of them. He shouldn't have to wait for the mayor to authorize something like this. He should just do it. I mean, that is within his power to do as mayor of a major city. So at the moment, the governor should stay the course. I mean, the population density of South Dakota is skewed. It's not very large, and it's really skewed towards Sioux Falls. So a statewide stay-at-home order isn't going to do anybody any good. It's just going to hurt a lot of small communities out in the middle of the state that don't have any cases. So at the moment, she should just do what she's doing. I don't know what else to say. It's just not bad enough and not widespread enough across the state for her to make this a statewide issue. But like Paul TenHaken or the Minnehaha County Commissioner or something like that should issue a stay-at-home order. They should be issuing a shelter-in-place. They should be doing some of this stuff. I mean, that's Paul TenHaken's power. That's within his prerogative powers. So yeah, there's your answer. Thoughts on cheese balls and styrofoam? I don't know who asked this question, but whoever did, you know me very well. My thoughts on cheese balls and styrofoam? There's no difference. That big bucket of cheese balls people love to buy, they taste like styrofoam. Doesn't even taste like Cheeto dust flavored styrofoam. It just tastes like styrofoam. They're the exact same. If I wanted to eat a ball of styrofoam, I would go eat a ball of styrofoam. Ditto for rice noodles too. I don't know if you have ever had rice noodles, but they taste like styrofoam. They feel like styrofoam and they taste like styrofoam. So it's the same thing. Whoever invented cheese balls is a genius, because I'm sure they made millions of dollars selling buckets full of styrofoam, which is like the cheapest material on the planet. So good on you. Good capitalism. Anybody who thinks cheese balls taste good doesn't have any taste buds. That simple as that. Final question. When did you decide you wanted to be the president one day, and what steps will you take to get there? So I've always been interested in politics. I've always had a major interest in the political sphere. My family's always been very political. They always like to talk politics at family meetings and holidays and stuff, so I grew up listening to that stuff. The president thing actually started as a joke. So for any of you who are in band, I want to say it was 8th grade. Somebody can comment and correct me on that, but I'm pretty sure it was 8th grade. The 8th grade band went to a nursing home to play Christmas carols. And we went around the room introducing ourselves, and when it got to me, I wasn't really focused on my posture, and so I had my arms crossed like this, and I was like, I'm Scott Howard. Very direct. Everybody in the room laughed. I didn't see what was wrong with it, but apparently it was pretty funny. So we got back on the bus, and everybody started saying Scott Howard 2040. And I was like, yeah, I'm running for president. Go me. And so it was a joke for a while. And as I got older and started getting more involved in politics and more educated, I came to the realization that everybody in Washington is stupid. That everybody is just dumb. And that if I wanted to make real change happen, I should probably go out there and do it myself. And so it stopped being a joke. I started legitimately saying I was going to be president. And here we are today. I'm class president, so what steps will you take to get there? Well, I ran for class president. That's the first step. No, I'm kidding. I'm going to school for political science and economics. I want to get a job doing political commentary or economic analysis for a think tank in DC. Eventually, I want to run for the House of Representatives. I want to be a House member for a number of years. It'd be nice to be Speaker of the House. That'd be fun. But just be a House member. And then, yeah, whenever I'm eligible. So, I'll be eligible in 2036, technically, but 2040 is just catchier. So, once I'm eligible, Scott Howard 2040, vote me in. I'm counting on South Dakota, and it's 3 electoral college votes. that's all I have for questions. If you guys have any questions or comments on the video, leave a comment below, text me, send a pigeon with a letter, whatever you gotta do. Stay safe during quarantine. Don't go out and do anything stupid. Or if you do, be safe about it. Other than that, yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. So be safe, and I will see you guys in the next video.